Hello and welcome to beIN Sports. We are here at the Hungaroring for the 2026 Formula One Hungarian Grand Prix. And as part of our coverage this weekend, we have a very special interview for you. Joining us today is one of Formula One's brightest young talents, Racing Bull driver Arvid Lindblad. Arvid, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you with us. Firstly, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very much looking forward to the weekend. How are you?
All good, thank you. I have lots of topics I want to discuss with you, so without further ado, let's get to it. So Arvid, I mean, this is your rookie season, and not just any rookie season. You have entered Formula One at the beginning of a completely new era with new regulations and brand new cars. But despite that, you looked really, at ease, confident, and you're producing great results. How do you stay focused and deal with the pressure that comes with such a big step? And how much has Racing Bulls been in helping you adapt, given the team's experience of developing rookie drivers?
Yeah, I've been enjoying a lot. This is something I've been dreaming of my whole life. So it's been a very special experience for me this first part of the year. The team have been amazing to work with. They're very used to welcoming rookies. My engineers in particular have really helped me get up to speed and make the transition. And yeah, it's they've really supported me with that. Honestly, with pressure, I wouldn't really say I feel any. This is something I've been dreaming of my whole life. So the fact that it's come true for me is just really exciting. I'm loving being a Formula One driver, and I don't really feel any pressure from it. In the end, I'm living my dream that I envisioned from when I was 5. So it's just been an amazing experience.
Yeah, I mean, building on that, the season has been a learning process not only for you as a rookie, but probably the whole grid with the new regulations. Do you think that is an advantage for you, or does that make the challenge even greater?
I don't think it really makes a difference, to be honest. In the end, it's very new for everyone. These engines are very different to what we're all used to. It's a new challenge for us all. The way we're having to drive, the sensitivity to it is not something any of us have really dealt with before. So it's new for everyone. So I wouldn't really say it makes a difference.
And speaking of adapting, I mean, that's something you have become very familiar with throughout your career because you've jumped ranks so quickly. But Formula One is obviously a completely different level. And compared to your last season in Formula 2, what has changed the most in your day-to-day routine, your preparation, and your overall mindset? Because a Formula 2 weekend can be quite ruthless. It's quite fast, limited track time, and you need to adapt all the time. How different is it?
It is very different, and it's a big. It is different. Honestly, the format is actually easier in F1 because you have more time to build up. So I would say the way I really approach the sessions, it's much more about building up, about learning. In the end, in F2, it's much more about really just getting up to speed. Whereas in F1, it's much more about perfecting because you have that more time. So it's something I'm still learning, to be honest, because it is very new for me. In F3 and F2, it's a very different format. So I'm still adapting my approach to each of the sessions, and that's still evolving on how I deal with that. But yeah, it's a very different approach. It's much more about perfecting, like I said.
But obviously, no matter which category you're racing in, as a racing driver, one thing never changes. Your first benchmark is your teammate, and you have a really competitive teammate this year in Liam Lawson. You have had great battles out on track this year. How great is it to have a teammate that's competitive when you're still learning and developing as a Formula One driver, and how is your relationship with them?
It's really good. I think for myself, I'm one that really likes to have a strong teammate because it pushes you on. And I think me and Liam have worked really well together on that side. I think honestly we've been pushing each other, and it's been fun. I think we get the balance really good. We fight each other hard on track. We want to do well, but at the same time off track, we're two genuine guys, and we talk about a lot of stuff outside of racing. So yeah, it's been fun being his teammate so far this year, and I think we've got the balance really good, and he's helped me to push on and continue to learn.
And I mean, Arvid, as I said, even though you're a rookie, you look so calm and confident. But in those last first races, have you ever had a moment where you're like, okay, I'm in Formula One now? Have you had a welcome to Formula One moment? Does anything come to mind?
Yeah, I think in Melbourne was the most special for me. That was really it was very surreal. You know, like I said, this is something I've always dreamed of, and something I believe that could happen, but you never entirely know. Um, and I think for me in Melbourne, you know, on the grid before the start of the race was really the pinch me, the moment where it hit me. And I remember very well, you know, my coach said to me, just before I was putting my helmet on, all the years of hard work were for this, and it really hit me. I even got a bit emotional in that moment, and yeah, I think that's been the most special moment so far. I got a little bit of that again in Silverstone, because you know I remember when I was 5 and I was watching it in the grandstand 13 years later, being there as a Formula One driver. So I'd say those are the 2 times where it really has hit me, and I've tried to appreciate the moment.
And now that you're living the Formula One experience for several months, how does the reality compare to what you imagined before arriving? I mean, has anything surprised you, either positively or negatively?
I think I was very well prepared by the Red Bull Junior program. So I had an idea of what was coming. But I think it's always hard to get a full appreciation. So yeah, I think, you know, on the marketing side, I think there was a bit more than I expected. There's compared to F2 especially, there's a lot more of this, a lot more of stuff that's not just driving the car. And then even working with a team, you know, just an appreciation of how big it is, and how many people there are, the way you need to interact, you know, because it is so much bigger. You know, the sort of team building skills are much more important. So I'd say those are the biggest things that have been a surprise outside of the car.
And since you have now had the time to build experience with these new generation cars, I would like to talk about the technical side a bit. Where do you still feel there is the biggest area for improvement in your own driving? And looking at the Racing Bulls package, are there certain types of circuits where you feel the car naturally plays to its strengths? Or are there any circuits that suit you better? Maybe Budapest, Hungaroring?
I think honestly for the car, it's been pretty robust. You know, ever since we brought the update in Canada, it's been really strong everywhere. It made a big step, and we've just been generally quite fast on all different types of circuits. I would say we're maybe slightly better on tracks that are with a few more straights, just because we have a very efficient package. But honestly, I think we're good everywhere. So I wouldn't say that we have strong or weak tracks. The car seems very robust. What was the other part of your question?
And about your own driving, where do you
Yeah.
think you can still improve the most with
Yeah,
these
I
cars?
think, you know, there's still a lot to learn. In the end, I'm in my rookie season. We're not even halfway yet. Well, almost halfway. So I think on many levels there's still to improve. But I would say the one sort of biggest thing that's been new for me that I'm working on is just trying to get the most out of the engine. You know, the PU, it's very different to what we've had in previous years. The way you drive has a big effect on the power you get, how it's delivered, and all that sort of thing. And I'm still working on how to find the loopholes, how to extract the most out of that for, you know, one lap in qualifying, but also in the race, balanced, you know, with the time management, but also, you know, when you're trying to attack or defend. It's something that I think we're all learning, but I'd say that's my biggest focus point.
If you had the choice between making your Formula One debut under the previous generation of regulations in any other era or starting your career in this completely new era, which one would you choose and why? Maybe the 2010 Red Bulls? They were quite strong.
Yeah, they were fast. I think the cars in 2018, I think that regulation was very good. I think it was 18, 19, 20. I think that was a cool
the
regulation.
Downforce monsters.
They had a lot of downforce. But honestly, you know, all Formula One cars are pretty cool. You know, they're all fast. They're all very special to drive. So I'm not too bothered. For me, I'm just enjoying being here, enjoying driving the car, and I don't really mind which one it is.
And finally, looking back at the first half of your rookie season, your recent form has been particularly impressive with 5 consecutive point-scoring finishes. When you compare yourself to the Arvid who lined up on the grid for the opening race, how proud are you of the progress you've made? And as you carry this momentum into the second half of the season, what would define a successful end to your rookie year?
Yeah, I'm very happy with how the year has gone. You know, I think I've done a really good job. I think, you know, I've really stayed focused on myself, and really tried every weekend to to improve, to continue to learn, and I'm really happy with the development, I've had so far this year. And I started well in Melbourne. The first race was very special, but I still think I've got better every time, and I'm really happy with how I've approached it. I wouldn't say the approach should change for the second half of the year. I'm still going to stay focused on myself, take one weekend at a time. It's hard for me to really answer that now, just because in reality as an F1 there's so many things that happen, so many things that not always in your control. But just the biggest thing I'm focused on is continuing to learn, continuing to focus on myself, and try to get better every weekend. And if I continue to make a conscious effort at that and not get distracted by the noise, then I'll be happy.
Arvid, thank you very much for your time. It's been great to hear about your journey so far, and we wish you every success for the rest of the season and obviously for this weekend. That's all from us here at the Hungaroring for now. Thank you for watching this exclusive interview on beIN Sports. Enjoy the rest of our coverage of the 2026 Formula 1 Hungarian Grand Prix, and we will see you again very soon.